Hello everyone to everyone's favorite podcast about twin movies. I'm your host, Alice Wool of Water, and my co-host.
In the house, the rumble in the jungle. Wait, this is completely wrong. Yeah, Ludovico, I'm here.
Yeah,
Hello.
it's famous boxer Ludovico.
Yeah, I'm gonna jab ya.
Yeah. Today's movies. Are we got Ronnie and Zodot. But aside, before we talk about them, we do a little show and tell. So I will start. This month, I've been playing a game called. Wait a second.
You're
He
prepared, huh?
Human Chronicles, 100 Heroes. Ludo, are you familiar with the Suikoden games?
Yes, I know Suicode.
So Suikoden is the series based around the one of the classical Chinese novels, the Watamazens. That's basically what if you want, like, I think it's 118 Zolkos team up to defeat other Zolkos. But yeah, it's a very popular series. It's been that for a while because it's a Konami series. So the developers from like the first two games, I think some of the others, made a spiritual successor called 100 Heroes. That's very inspired by like JRPG storytelling, by Chinese storytelling, of course, and it's pretty good. I'm like 3 4 hours into it, and it's pretty enjoyable. What they're doing is basically they're giving you like a lot of like the characters at the start of the series, at the start of the game, because this game, as the title says, there's 100 heroes, even more actually. Uh, so yeah, I've been enjoying because they've been using the fact that the game has a lot of characters to like play with tropes. Like there's a magical girl, there's a bunch of circle guys, there's a wolf guy, and it's been enjoyable. The battle system is pretty fun. I like the writing so far a lot. It's been playing a lot of tropes and stuff like that. It's been enjoyable, I say. I also have
Uh,
to promote it
can
because
you
if
can you
yeah.
collect them all though? Can you
Uh,
catch them all?
Yes, you can collect them all. That's part of the game.
Nice.
Actually, I think it does that. I actually like that a lot. Any RPGs to do even with like lesser characters. Is it one of the characters you recruit because it has a system like those characters you recruit that go directly to your party that go in combat, and then there's like support characters you recruit that like because there's like a castle like kingdom management system.
Okay, okay.
One of the characters you recruit is like a fortune teller that like tells you where to get the other characters. So like you can pay money to like localize. It won't tell you exactly, but you so go, this character is hiding somewhere in the city, or like something cryptic like that.
Okay, yeah. So it's a
Yeah,
bit like in a roguelike where you like recruit people for your like home base where you
yeah,
like find
yeah,
them.
yeah. So this game has like a lot of companion dialogue for a thing like with like 100 characters. Like I said, none of all of them are like in your party, but the ones that in our party like do have actually a good amount of dialogue, which is not the thing like the listen to in games.
Yeah, I
Because
guess we all learned from like gacha games and dating sims.
yes, we truly love them. Who's your favorite Castle game character? I don't know.
Um, oh, I never played a gacha game. Is the problem? But I saw some. You see them in the internet.
Um, the, the the steel guy from FMA.
Is he in a gacha?
He's in the Final Fantasy Tactics Castle, yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. Maybe one of the Grand Blue people. They're pretty funny designs.
Yeah. But yeah, not how to say, it's a desirable game, I'm enjoying it more. I also have to support it because a friend of mine worked on it as a PR person because they are also the editor for the Suikoden Wikipedia, in a big Suikoden heaven. Yeah. But yeah, good game. Anything, Ludo?
Nice. Oh, that's interesting. You're gaming hard.
Yeah, I'm gaming.
That's a good segue because I was also gaming hard.
Wow.
Uh, yeah, I played some more Street Fighter 6. Getting back into it for a bit. Still a fun game. Still very exhausting also, but rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
And then I I got on my longest win streak ever in a fighting game in ranked. I had 23 wins in a row. So that might be the longest win streak I will ever have in ranked in a video game. Mm-hmm. So that felt good. That was a nice experience. Mm-hmm. That's the one thing. Then the other is I've been hard working on the DJ stuff. Yesterday I mixed in one of the channels on the fighting game server. I just started doing it. And then I did it for like 7 hours and like over 150 tracks. Yeah. It was really nice. It was a really long mix. I basically did the mix I planned to learn to do like live another time.
Yep. You should play DJ Hero, which is like the DJ game, the one.
Guitar Hero is just way funner, because I can actually DJ now. And even when I played Guitar Hero, I was already playing guitar, but I wasn't good at it.
Well, yes, and sometimes you need to be bad at it. I know.
Yeah, sure. It can also be fun to be bad at something, actually.
Just like the Joker, I know.
The Joker is the best example always.
But yeah, I'm very glad
Joker man.
I'm very glad that you are enjoying your DJ set. It's very nice. Will you sample Aukerman from Bob Dylan, though? That's important.
That would be very funny. I mean, if I ever do a DJ set on the other server we both are on, I might sample in some Joker Man just for the loss.
Man in the Nightingale. But do you have anything else to say?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay, let's travel back to the distant past of 2000s.
Y'all want to do a time machine? We want to do the time segment once again? Because it's a very funny time in history.
Yeah, let's do, as always, we have a time segment. Let's go. I'm driving the time machine to the year 2000s. Yeah.
Wow.
It's the year 2000s. The Black Wall is happening.
It's not yet happening, but 9/11 is happening right around the time between those two movies.
Oh, yeah, too. Yeah, 9/11 is happening. More 2000s.
So we have like the transformation between 90s culture and the monochrome gray world that will be the 2000s.
Yeah.
The whaling, the Middle Eastern whaling is starting up.
Yeah. We'll talk about that, but yeah, this is very funny with the connections of both of these movies. So specifically, both of these have very interesting connections when it comes to 2000 cultures. 111 is actually a spin-off movie of a show called Mr. So, which is a very important thing in the 90s, in the alternative comedy scene. Specifically because it had guys like Bob Odenkirk, who's the guy from the lawyer guy from Breaking Bad, as does a lot of comedy stuff. David Coase, I think his name, who's not a important comedy guy, like a lot of important comedy guys. Zach Black is in one of the episodes. Yeah. Very interesting show, very interesting the out comedy thing. The Mr. So thing is it's a sketch show, but all the sketches are connected in some ways. They have it basically leads to an ending, even if it's not a fully connected story. So in the 2000s, they made the movie, and the movie has a massive production issues, which we'll talk later on.
I'm pretty sure a bunch of this movie was still shot and planned in the 90s.
You can tell it's one of those things where the production of this movie was barely disastrous.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, you have So Do It, which is Happy Madison. The Empire of Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
We're not
the day has come where we have to talk about the Happy Madison movie. It's really sad.
We're not going to give a big backstory because I think anyone listening to this podcast knows what Happy Madison is.
I wonder if there's really young people from the 2000s who were born then who barely know what Happy Madison is because it was on the way out in the 2010s.
So basically, Adam Sandler, known funny man, known Republican donator guy, has a production company. They put out 1 million super comedies.
The type of terrible movie that your bullies would watch in school.
That's hilarious. The big one, because it's like the big meme one, is Pop Lot Markup. The thing with Happy Madison things is like Adam Sandler does some of them, but he's mostly just the producer guy behind them, and it's just like it's a way for like his comedian fans to get rollers.
Yeah. It's basically kind of a grift, so you can use money to go on vacation with your friends.
Yes.
At least in the later ones, it becomes that a bit.
Yeah. So how this ties to like 2000s culture, like both like, it's interesting because like you get something that's like you get both things that kind of started in the 90s. Wait, did Happy Madison start in the 90s? Ludo, I don't actually know what.
Yeah. They had movies in the 90s.
Yeah, we had both things that like started in the 90s, and then like with like different sense of humor and just kind of morph into like this 2000s culture of like a lot of meanness, a lot of just like shock value, and specifically like we talk about this like a lot of music. Because people even in the very mid 2000s will maybe realizing do not be too racist. So like you get like a lot of like acceptable like replacements for that. And the ones this movie uses is like redneck, so like
yeah, and like don't worry about it, folks. There is enough queerphobia in both of these movies for everybody.
Sexism.
Everybody is gonna have some.
Yeah, we have so many bigotry, socio bigotry. It's even has a little racism on the side. Yeah, but yeah.
Okay, we're gonna have to hand it to Happy Madison in the cast and acting, but we're gonna do that in a moment. I'm gonna hand it to them.
But yeah, the 2000s. You start to see the morphing of like 2000s culture in both of these movies. Like, the things become much more mean, becomes much more like goes out, very much like cynical, but like different from the 90s way. Just like very like you're fully just ridiculous for caring about anything.
Yes, we have fully been South Parkified as a culture by this time.
Yes, so you start seeing like that in these movies, and like last thing before we end, I just want to say 2000s comedies were fucking awful. This is not normally I like to say, because I am the person that's like, you cannot just like, even in the West, you cannot just think of like all Western cultures like American culture, etc. etc. And no, 2000s comedies, at least in the fucking West, were so fucking bad. Me and Ludo could do a podcast about just talking about fucking bad European comedies of this time. Like, comedy was fucking bad of this era.
Yeah, and the thing is, it hasn't gotten better on the European side, really. We never recovered from this.
Stay tuned to our new podcast. We talk about European ethnic comedies. Get time to learn about Corsicans and why the French people hate them.
Get to learn every like weird racist stereotype you never heard about before.
From a people group you probably never heard about in your life. Let's go.
Yeah.
But
no,
yeah.
I think that's enough groundwork setting. We know what they're about. We know what time this was. It was a meaner time. It was a bleaker time if you were not a white guy. And if you watch this as a white guy, a teenager, you probably thought these movies were rad.
Yeah.
But they kind of aren't.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So before we do the comparisons, just like the brief thing, like, what did you think of the movies?
So looking up the IMDb dates of this, I found a bunch of like top lists, like my top 30, my top whatever, that had Joe Dirt in there.
Yeah.
Like in between stuff like The Godfather and shit.
Like, you can like whatever you want. I'm never gonna like shame people on like whatever they like or find meaningful. You can quite although it's fine. At the same time, I'm like, why?
This feels like somebody watched like 30 movies in their life, and one of them was just Joe Dirt, so it's in the list.
This has to be like a bunch of heads or something, right?
Like, yeah, or like teenagers, you know, who haven't really developed a taste yet for movies.
Yeah. But yeah, my thoughts on the movies. Ronnie is an extremely mediocre comedy. Though it is god awful.
Yeah, Ronnie Run has some funny bits. Like, they got me a few times. Joe Dirt is just everything I remember being wrong about the time I grew up as a teenager.
Like, it's funny. I don't think there's actually a lot. We're gonna need to go actually deeper. Not that we're gonna talk a lot about this movie, because I think this is gonna be a short one. At the same time, I do think we're gonna need to re-talk about this, because in general, like, this was just like, kind of nothing. This was like a request by producer Perez, mostly because he wanted us to talk about the 121 is like the Mr. South movie. Uh, and you can very much notice, because I don't think 121 was had the history is that. I think the last time, at the same time, Zoltot is just like god awful 2000s comedy that nothing to say besides I want to fucking more than Sandler. You should already make like 4 movies that are like good-ish dramas with okay, and like maybe the occasional good comedy that people say is good from him, and then just like stop making movies.
Okay, so the thing with Run, Ronnie, Run, and I'm gonna tell this story right here, right now, because it doesn't really fit in with the other segments. But just so you know why that movie isn't as good as Mr. Show, Prez, if you're listening, because I think you didn't like it either that much. The thing is, they basically lost all creative control once shooting wrapped up. Mm-hmm. So they had, the Mr. Show people had no say in the edit and anything. So this is all Troy Miller, I think, the director, who had like control over that.
Yeah.
So we will pack in some sources from interviews, and like people got salty from Mr. Cho about what Troy Miller did to them there, because they basically got strong-armed out of the movie.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of stuff where you can note, specifically interview the ones where it's Bob or the Gog talking, where like he's just very extremely bitter about the whole situation, which makes sense. Because he got basically like his baby stolen from him to make an extremely generic 2000s comedy.
Yeah. I mean, they already kind of messed it up in the scripting process, because they basically made it more and more Happy Madison-like with every version. Mm-hmm. Because they were like scared that the studios wouldn't like sign off on a movie that's just 90 minutes of connected sketches and completely, abstract. Basically, they wanted to make Freddy Got Fingered at the start, but then they got scared.
Yeah, something like the Monkeys movie or something.
Yeah. So yeah, that's basically the story to that. Do we want to start with the segments?
Yes, let's start the segments.
Okay, it's cast and acting time. Run, Ronnie, run. Let me read some names. We got Bruce Taylor as Dot Lanchester. We got David Cross as Ronnie Dobbs. Pootie T. Chow Chow. Who is Chow Chow? Leon Lamar as Tammy's neighbor. India Cosper, Middle Ronnie. Blaze Walker, Little Middle Ronnie. Storm Walker, Little Ronnie. That's a lot of Ronnies. Jill Talley, Tammy. Paul Carden, Tasty liquor store owner. Becky Tyre as Tonya. Sully McCullough as Kyle. And David Kuckner as Clay. Oh, also very important, Saucy as Fucked Up Dog. I think that's actually a credit for a dog.
Wow.
Yeah, what's happening here?
The acting is fine, I guess. It's really hard to talk about comedy acting in general, I feel like, because at least this type of comedy, because the thing is like, when you're focused on making this type of jokes, it's always going to be depending on like if the jokes hit for you, because the acting is going to that direction.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I guess the acting is fine, but like my thing is like a lot of the jokes just don't hit for me, and you can really feel like, I would say this, you can pretty much feel like the difference between people who come from like 90s like alternative comedy stuff, but like it's a bit the acting is a bit more surreal, a bit more thing, a bit more bitter in that, and then people and like doing that with like Happy Madison style comedy, because it goes into this weird combination with like I feel like I'm a weird limbo zone about it.
Yeah, it can be totally confusing.
Yeah, who's the Ronnie again? Sorry.
Ronnie is played by David Cross.
Yeah, you can be. David Cross is like trying something, but also it's very much just like doing a typical redneck guy, funny Paul guy from rural reasons. You know.
Yeah. My theory is the Mr. Show people are fine for what they are, but I feel like even they just already know that, like, they don't even find their jokes funny anymore at this point.
You can very
Like,
much.
this has been in like rewriting hell for like years before they filmed this, and you can kind of feel that everybody's kind of already done with the project. They're already.
It feels very tired, to be honest. It very much feels like one of those things where, like, this thing has been in production for years. It comes from, like, a cast of, like, very talented people, but they just lose the energy because the baby basically just got stolen, even the script thing. So, like, it just feels very tiring. Just we're always saying the same jokes without any energy.
Yeah, because like a big part of these this movie is doing jokes again they already did on the shows years ago.
Yeah. It,
Yeah.
and you can just notice, like, I watched some episodes of Mr. So before. I think Lulu only watched the one producer episode to us, but you can at least notice the difference between what the show is trying to do in the comedic sense and like the acting and like this.
Yeah. The show has better timing.
The timing in this feels very off. Because, like I said, it's a weird combination of trying to do the Mr. So humor, like the more Happy Madison production. And the thing is, like, when you combine two styles of jokes have different timing. Different traditions of jokes have different timing.
Yeah.
So what happens is if you try to combine two styles of humor at the same time, the timing of both of the sets can be very off, and you notice, because just 90s alternative comedy and 2000s like kind of song like Happy Madison set just has different senses and tempo to it.
Yeah.
So it just feels extremely fucking awful.
Like, I think the movie has funny bits, but they're mostly just weird shit that you don't see coming,
Yeah,
which is good, but
yeah, like there's a joke where like those jokes that work like stuff like the main character guy is like talking like calling somebody like, oh, you're gay, etc, etc, you're part of the gay end, and like that happens good to be actually part of the secret US government gay agenda plan. And that's
yeah, they just unravel the secret gay conspiracy, which is such a topical joke for nowadays. I think that's one of the jokes that age not badly. It's still funny.
Like jokes like that work because it's subverting expectations, because you have like the homophobic redneck type, and then it just goes instead of going like in an obvious election, going ho ho, like this guy's homophobic, but also like most of the jokes you're meant to laugh at the homophobia in the theater. It goes into just a more sweet direction that even doesn't have politics to it. It's just, oh, there's a secret agenda of the gays. It's like this so little bit. It feels like,
yeah, it's like when the kid who plays Virtua Fighter suddenly starts like beating the fuck out of people.
It's playing the best bits in this movie is like playing with surrealism and like just absurdity in a way that like supports your expectations. And that's just doing funny redneck guy. There's a funny redneck thing,
Yeah, those bits are just kind of very predictable.
Yeah.
I think that's everything I got on cast and acting. Joe Dirt, cast and acting. So we got David Spade as Joe Dirt, Brittany Daniel as Brandy, Dennis Miller, Xander Kelly, Adam Beach, Kicking Wing. This is where I gotta hand it to them because this guy is actually from like a First Nation, like the native, the indigenous person in the movie. It's actually played by an indigenous person.
They actually cast the indigenous person in 2000s in the
Happy Madison's woke. Christopher Walken as Clem, Jane Presley as Jill, Kid Rock as Robbie.
Oh boy!
Let's just stop there.
Okay, let's
just stop when we hear that name.
We go as part. So the main guy is just doing the fucking most. I'm a guy that knows nothing, and I do the things I shouldn't do. Just like the most fucking tired jokes of our time.
David Spade I never really got what's funny about David Spade.
He's just one of million American comedian guys that I sometimes see in like movies. I'm like, who is this guy?
Yeah, it's kind of nothing.
Uh,
Yeah, the acting in this is super standard, you know. It's Happy Madison 101 by way of it's the thing is there's one exception. Christopher Walken fucking kills it.
Christopher Walken is great. The thing with Christopher Walken is like I do not know how much. I don't think this movie was available or anything. But like Christopher Walken's bits does feel like just Christopher Walken's just like maybe just because his voice is like very unique, you know. But it just feels like it's him just doing a bit that he like did because like it's him like the joke is genuinely very funny because it starts as like this is like the school janitor guy that's just helping Zoe do it, but no, it turns out it's like a guy running from the mafia.
Yeah.
And it's like genuinely extremely funny. Just because Christopher Walken is like, oh, it's just a fucking delight. His mannerisms and just the way he's speaking, just like things, it's like genuinely always very charming.
Yeah. Like there are movies that don't utilize him optimally, but usually you just have to put him in the room and like have him start doing his scene and like doing his thing, and then it will work out.
Is anyone like one like the best like Hollywood actors of that era? Like the guy knows how to, even like the shittiest fucking things, he knows how to like do a performance. But
he always tries.
Yeah, but like the rest is like we'll come back to Kill Rock, don't worry about it. But before that is like it's just a lot of stock like Happy Madisonisms, which is just like guy who acts silly. The women acts goofy, but also misogyny. We'll go back to misogyny later.
I'm so sorry, Brittany Daniel, Jamie Presley, Kathleen Randazzo, Elisa Leonette. It's just reading off every woman on the cast list. So, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for. I hope the check was good because, wow, the women in this movie get to do the most basic shit, like looking pretty, being horny, and being stupid.
Dennis Miller is doing. I had noted piece of shit. Dennis Miller is just doing his thing. There's really nothing to it. But yeah, the thing is like happy. How do I describe this? Happy man, like the Japanese thing, like a comedy thing of like there's like a goofy guy and like a serious guy, and like this goofy guy is always doing something goofy, and the serious guy goes what? Happy Madison is like that type of like goofy guy and like serious guy reacting humor. Happy Madison is like going for something like that. But the thing is, like, everyone is written like a cartoon character and not a positive way. Not a cartoon character. Everyone is written as like the most fucking heightened like comedic like we're gonna do something silly for like comedy thing.
Yeah, so, like, everybody's a parody stereotype.
So even like the serious characters meant to like react to the seriousness just feel like a cartoon, like with Dennis Miller's cartoon and everything. So like not the cartoon, like just a parody. So like there's no actual comedic timing to it all. It's just like like you know. I'm just doing a joke.
Yeah, the timing in these Happy Madison movies is like it can vary a lot, I think, how good the timing is. And in this one, the timing is bad often.
It's super bad. Let's just wrap this up to go to the main meat. But we need to talk about one more thing. The Kid Walk.
Yeah, he's here. I guess he plays like a mean redneck, which fits, you know?
Yeah.
He's just a mean redneck guy. But
like...
I still didn't research if he's actually like stealing redneck valor.
I think I heard he's
Let me look it up right now.
Super weird or something. Like the guy sucks it away. Kid Walk, not a good guy.
No, what the fuck? He came up in the Detroit hip hop scene.
What? No, wait, is he friends with Eminem? Is Kid Walk friends with Eminem, Ludo?
Oh, no, his father owned multiple car dealerships, so yeah, he's fake valor.
Of course he's fucking fake. 90% of these guys are fake. It's like a universal thing.
Yeah.
This is a thing that happens in Europe, it happens in fucking Japan, it happens in China, it happens in South Korea, it happens on the wood in South America.
The fake folksy guy.
There's a million folksy guys, they're specifically all right-wing, like used like ruralism as like this way to justify bigotry in a way that's never in contact with any culture's ruler cultures. And they are almost all just fucking rich people also from urban cities that just like use that demons as a way to justify the bigotry and some kind of like for belief on like, oh, I'm ruler, so I do some I believe on like ruler cultures are much more valid and different than like these people do. Which is actually a statement that fits with both of these movies and so do it. Because funny redneck, turns out American ruler culture is much more complex and different than like weird comedy guys writing about it. Wow.
Yeah, that's very much the thing in this movie, in both these movies.
Yeah.
Which is a good segue because we're gonna have to talk about the story,
Yeah.
about the plot.
Yeah.
Run, Ronnie, run. I'm gonna give it to here, all my notes because it's one sentence. Barely a movie.
So we have to explain how Mr. So works is there's a bunch of scarces and they all like have a segue into each other. It's not a coherent story. It's just like a thing happens and the other thing happens. It leads to the other scarce. That works. That's a very unique idea. I like a scherzo because most scherzos are just very like not. Scherzos are like
they're segmented.
Yeah, they're segmented. They're not connected. The thing in a movie that's interesting because there's been other movies that play the idea of like segmented things all combined into one. There's of course like anthology movies like that too. This kind of tries that, but you can feel like there's like a struggle, like we mentioned, because of production issues. This, well, like on one side, the movie does kind of do that with like there's individual segments that go, but also it's much more like a coherent plot. But also it's very coherent. It's technically a plot.
Yeah, it's somehow managing to be too incoherent and too coherent at the same time. Because it starts with two incoherent framing device segments already that are not necessary for the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then the plot starts. So we already like got our brain scrambled twice, right?
Yeah.
And then it starts being like a mix of sketches that kind of flow together, sketches that are complete non sequiturs, like the Jack Black musical number that just comes out of nowhere, right? Mm-hmm. That has no context to the rest of the movie. And then actual narrative scenes that are like in a Happy Madison movie, where like the underdog is becoming famous and blah blah blah, and he gets the girl at the end.
Yeah, it's
like there's like 3 different modes happening, and they're all messed up.
You can like I said, you can very much notice like the struggle, like the issues of like the production of this thing, because one is trying to be must be like a Mr. So thing, the other is trying to be like a Happy Madison thing. And it doesn't work at all because it feels like incoherent.
Yeah.
Like because it switches between this mode of like normal narrative and like just random things that some movies could do well, but it's not doing that on purpose really. So like it just becomes like, what are we doing here? You know?
There is the occasional setup that pays off. You know, when you see the kid playing Virtua Fighter like 20 minutes before it's gonna beat up the guys.
Yeah.
That's like setup and payoff, and it works and stuff, and it's funny. But most of the movie is either shit is never gonna come back, or it's just gonna be part of this plot where you know they don't actually are here for the plot. They're here to make the funny sketches. Like that's way more the focus at the end of the day. So the plot itself doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah, because it's trying to be at the end of the day a comedy thing. So like it doesn't actually care about the plot and stuff like that. At the same time, the issues, because it's still doing the plot, it becomes still incoherent with the comedy. It's barely like it's bad, and like it's plot sucks.
Yeah. What can you say?
I know. Like
let's move over.
It works better as a TV show idea. Either way, like there's been movies like this that work well, but those movies are like surrealist experiments and not like a Hollywood project. But
yeah, it's not Freddy Got Fingered.
Yes. Uh, let's.
Joe Dirt plot. What do you think?
Do you like Adam Sandler movies?
I like two of them.
But yeah,
The ones that aren't Happy Madison one.
It's weird because I feel like how do I say this? I feel like Happy Madison. Happy Madison's like this the snake eating like Adam Sandler's Taylor, because they're bastardizations of Adam Sandler's own thing. Because you watch something like The Wedding Singer and
Sorry, I had to sneeze.
I thought
edit that out.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought you were like, wow, Wedding Single, fucked up. No, but no. You watch like Happy Gilmore, Wedding Single, like those like Woody and Adam Sandler hits, and like they're still like they're movies, you know. They're like movies about guys, kind of loser guys that get the girl, but like they're mostly fine. They're mostly very traditional pot suckers because they're like very traditional Hollywood comedies at the time. But then when Adam Sandler starts the Happy Madison machine, it's like he's making a parody of like his own stuff, because it's hype. It like the loser guys become extra loser. Everything becomes heightened, and the structure becomes like a parody of itself.
Yeah, it's like a bastardization of the own style he had.
Yes.
Like it's like he turned this pug into the weirdest creature you have ever seen. And pugs are already pretty weird.
It's like a thing of like this, like it's capitalism. You turn your brand into like a parody of itself. You just sort it out. So
you just become self-ironic and then it's cool.
Yeah. So a lot of the stuff. So there's technically a framing device of like Zodot is being interviewed by Dennis Middleman, and like everyone's making fun of her, but at the same time it's like a fake to this and like plot structure thing. It's cut in between scenes of like Zodot. Like the plot is just kind of nothing because it's just a collection of like funny scares, like funny gags in between the occasional.
The plot is Forrest Gump.
It's
basically
just Forrest Gump, yeah.
It's just a guy who perchance got into a lot of adventures and he's telling you about it.
But just as a collection of jokes, and like they do not hit at all most of the time.
I don't think I laughed more than once in that entire movie, and I don't know where I laughed. So.
There's the Christopher Walken stuff. Besides that's like, I hope you like Transphobia. I hope you like Silence of the Lambs jokes.
Yeah, hope you like those.
Yeah, it's like it's just a bit. It's like it's doing like the Forrest Gump thing of like here's a kid, his life, it's wacky adventures, but specifically it's just like for everything is so like. This is the thing with Happy Madison things. They're trying to be sincere at the same time. It's so filled with like the worst fucking jokes that it's just like.
Yeah, why should I care for these people? That's my main problem. Like every Happy Madison character is like the worst human being, and then at the end of the movie, I should care about them.
It's like, why should I care about these people? They're so god awful. They're so like not.
There's a scene where he blackmails a woman into showing her tits. Like he threatens her with a weapon.
It's
this
like,
is the main character.
Why should I fucking give a shit? These people. This is like there's media. Look again. There's like media like in booths or something like characters are god awful and I can care about them because that's the point.
Yeah, I like me some nasty guys.
Adam Sandler's not trying to be abusers. He's not doing like some like dark comedy about the nature of like Paul Rudd, poverty and rural lives in America and how that combines with exploitation of the media and how that combines with like still humanity. Because he's not that guy.
This isn't In Bruges or some shit.
This is not a dark comedy about the nature of being a human being and being exploited for like your difference. This is a fucking Adam Sandler Happy Madison production.
Yeah, like any pretensions are like thrown to the dogs when the dog's balls literally freeze to the porch.
Yeah, there's a joke where he's just fucking like carries the ball and eats inside like in a bowl of dog feces, and that dog feces like a poop or something.
Yeah, there's like any kind of like childish joke you can imagine, and most like bigotry that you can imagine. It doesn't really get racist for most of it. That's like the one thing I can hand it to it.
Yeah. So yeah, bad
Yeah, let's move on.
teams. Is it thing?
Teams of Run, Ronnie, Run.
Um.
I have a speech for both of these for the teams because that's where we kind of get to the point.
Okay. Do your piece.
Okay. So both of these movies have this element of reality shows, right? Or like a person getting famous out of nowhere, basically. In Run, Ronnie, Run, it's the reality show, and in Joe Dirt, it's the radio show.
Mm-hmm.
And not both of these movies fail to make any kind of social commentary about it. But I found at least one person that said that Run, Ronnie, Run was actually doing social commentary about reality shows, which I have to answer. Depicting the thing alone doesn't comment on it. It just shows the thing.
Like, I cannot believe we're doing this discourse now, but I have to say this is a thing that happens a lot in media. Showing a thing is not commenting on a thing. Like,
Civil War is a good example.
We will watch that. Get hyped for the Civil War review. That's going to be the next podcast.
That's going to be a bonus episode.
Alongside of Joker 2. We're going to talk about Joker 2 and Civil War, which is that movie. But yeah, showing, like, this is, like, showing bigotry is not commenting on bigotry. Showing it, there's a difference between commenting and showing. Like, and sometimes showing is not itself bad, but at the same time you have to understand there's a difference between doing commentating and showing. If you want to show a thing and not comment on it, fine. But the media is good and does that. But you cannot. But to comment, you need to actually comment. Doing a story, making a part of the story, the media is exploiting Ronnie. It's not actually commenting because at the same time there's nothing done to it. It's just.
You know what this movie is doing, and you know I have a personal hatred for this formula. It's just doing the 1960s, 70s rock star that gets like exploited by showbiz plot that we have seen 1,000 times.
It's like the fucking. It's just like the like. It doesn't have this element, but it's like the how like Faustian deal to the ever thing with like.
Yeah.
And like I like Faustian narratives. I like it much more than like you. At the same time, it's like. First, this is not that fully. Second, to do a good one of those, you actually need to have emotions and like actually comment on something. Not just he did the money, he took the money, he became bad.
Yeah. Also, like he's such a middle ground of both of these are such a middle ground of a character where they're not fully sleazebags and they're not fully good guys.
Yeah.
And like, it just makes it hard to either root for them or hate them fully. I mean, it's easier with Joe Dirt because I would kill him.
Like, yeah, there's just nothing characters that like I cannot relate to them because like they don't have emotions. They're just caricatures of a caricature.
Yeah, like Run, Ronnie, Run never comes off like a real guy. He's just like the stereotype of the well-meaning redneck.
Like, this is the thing. This is why I think combining the teams talk about movies because both movies are just doing the same thing.
They're very similar.
I will mention one thing about Soul after this briefly, but the thing is, fundamentally, this movie is you doing the thing of like, the media is exploiting this like weird things, but like other people. At the same time, the thing is, first they just show it, they don't comment it. At the same time, it's like, this is my thing. They're still like just. The movies really want us to laugh at these people. They want us to laugh at Ronnie and like
they're literally exploiting the rural thing while saying, "Oh, isn't it bad?" Like like what?
It's like the fucking like this is like the most. I know I mentioned this before. This is like the most American comedies get into like European ethnic comedies. Like alias, where like the idea.
Where they acting like they're really actually helping that group by making fun of them.
Yeah, it's like like we placed like Ronnie with like I don't know somebody from Bosnia, like Hungarians or like Corsicans or something like that.
Yeah,
and it would be basically one of those like European comedies where like first guy goes to like the Basque country. and like meets all those wacky Basque people, but then he learns the lesson. And like
Yeah, he learns they're just humans. Wow.
this is like no fucking different than like any of those fucking things at the test, because at the end of the day you're literally just like mocking and delighting in the mockery of the mocking of other people just because they're slightly different than like the homogenized like Anglo-Saxon.
And they have some sort, like the creators have some sort of human decency, because neither of the redneck characters are racists, which would be like the number one stereotype, Mm-hmm. But they know that like that would be going too far. Like that would ruin the movie because we can't root for a racist. So we're gonna just make them bad in other ways, or like silly, like make them show as buffoons, as clowns.
This is misery, frankly. I do not hate what Ronnie wants, but just thinking about this movie is just misery.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the what I have in teams in Joe Dirt is the heterosexual liberal hegemony replicated in arts. That's the movie for
Here's my truth. I would prefer to watch Idiocracy 20 million times than this.
I would watch Idiocracy at least twice before rewatching this.
Like Idiocracy at least is open how violent it is. It's like it's openly violent. It's bad. Like I can at least just
it has better jokes. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Because Mike Suss is the comedy writer. Those things. It's like it's his faucet, but yeah, fucking.
But yeah, sometimes I can kind of get how politicians can so easily rile up people about the coastal elites, because they literally made like an entire cultural movement about just like making fun of any sort of otherness that isn't like a white guy from New York or something.
Yeah, it was just resulting like these movies are not as bad as Idiocracy in like going eugenics, but there's like a lot of like here's the thing, a lot of the anti-redneck stuff is just like classism. It's just like making fun of poor people.
Yeah.
So there's like elements of like classism and like, oh, poor people don't know this. This is like Zen when you got off them.
Yeah, that's also an element in this whole otherness. They don't live near Central Park or some shit.
Yeah, they live in rural areas like lower sex severity, so that's a part of the mocking of it, which is bad. And it gets into like eugenics, like bad luck, like the shit with like American laborers just talk about how they want to like nuke Texas or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they
Yeah. Do you have anything to add for the teams?
Misogyny.
For both movies. Yeah, maybe let's open that can of whoop ass right now.
Okay.
This is literally one of the sexist movies, Joe Dirt. I mean, it's one of the sexist movies I have seen in a long time. Like, it really reminds me genuinely of everything that was like bad about growing up in the 2000s.
It's that kind of misogyny where like the portrayal of misogyny is like somewhat sobbing and stuff like that. It's like it's just like he's just likes the women or whatever, It's really gross the way he just like treats women's bodies just like a thing to like oogle at, like joke about.
Yeah, the male gaze is something you could teach with this movie. Like, you can really see how different it frames women and how all the women are like the same body type and shit and super well dressed up and makeup and everything. They're just objects. They're just smiling objects.
There's a lot of like not severity. There's a desire. There's a lot of like desire politics and like the accessibility of like the woman. How like they're treated as opposites. It's just like 2000s culture. Like,
and they're all horny for Joe Dirt. Like, every woman wants him or just gives him all her attention. It takes until like 70 minutes into the movie when a woman talks to another woman. Just if you want to know how the like Bechtel situation looks here.
Like as somebody that's like a trans woman grew up in the 2000s. This is the kind of shit that like I grew up with and just like kind of made me more repressed, as like a kid.
Yeah.
Because it's like just so women as like this like opposites of like.
Like, I was scared of watching movies with teenage boys because there would be constantly homophobic jokes.
Yeah.
And then everybody would laugh about that shit, and I would feel bad.
It's when it's just uncomfortable. It's like reveals like a darkness, like the doesn't go to like this. They like actual. This gets like misused all the time. It's like the actual like hypersexualization of like women and women's bodies, and like how it's just real fucking gross. It's real bad. There's also a lot of homophobia in the movie, and transphobia, of course, because like. It's fucking gross. It's really gross.
Run, Ronnie, run. You know, it doesn't like go all in on that regard. And I gotta say, I feel like the Mr. Show people have a way better touch on like when they can be transgressive in ways that are funny.
Yeah,
like overall, they have a better touch on that.
Like I want praise like a massive like white guy specifically because there's been some stuff with the message of man, with the message of people about like racist looks in the past and everything. At the same time, it's like how do I say this? They're still slightly more thoughtful for like American comedy people, you know. Like Bob Odenkirk seems like a mostly okay guy. He's like somewhat left leaning. So
of course, we have the one guy who was at January 6th, but we don't talk about that.
We don't talk about that. Listen, if we're talking about people, we could
look. The episode is already getting long because we're complaining so much.
No, just let me finish the fucking joke. If we talked about every person in the movie we watched from America that went in January 6th, we could do a podcast about it, frankly. It's really
the January 6th club.
Just very fucking bleak.
Finally, we can talk about that metal band that I never listened to.
American fascism is totally staring into the abyss of things. It's like staring into the abyss of famous Republican donor Adam Sandler. Yeah. But
yeah. Please make another softy movie, Sandler. That's the only way to redemption. Not even God can save you.
Anyway,
only the softies.
Anyway, let's. Do you have anything to say?
No, let's go to cultural relevance, and let's just breeze through this because this is gonna be easy answers, I think.
No.
You just say no.
Like if you're Mr. So if you're like a fan of Mr. So, Sack 21 is like here's the thing. If you're a fan of like any type of media that gets like a movie, like a sequel, like whatever, that's like a known disaster, you're gonna be curious about it. I think it's an interesting piece of like I've seen blogs of people talking about it that are like if you're interested in like that type of comedy, that type of 90s alt comedy, Mr. So a very important influencer, of course. So like it's interesting as like you see what happens when like a very interesting influencer kind of transgressive group goes fully like Hollywood, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I still think some of the jokes are pretty funny. Like, if you just want to laugh like 3-4 times, then it's a good movie.
Like, I do think if you like interested in the sort of comedy in like the 90s, I do think it's interesting, at least as like an experiment. If you like somebody it's like interesting on like comedy as an actual thing, and like you think how like it's involved. So though it's like it got a sequel somehow.
I forgot. I already forgot that.
On a Canadian streaming service. Happy Malcolm.
So, if you wanna, like, if you are listening to this, like, from the 2050s or some shit, if you really wanna know, like, the cultural miasma of death we were wading through even before 9/11 and the Iraq War really took hold, watch some Happy Madison movies, and you will learn like about the heinous side of humanity.
Yeah, I hope the people are still listening to this podcast in like 40 years and like Adam Sandler has died, but they build a statue for him or something.
Yeah, there's like a gold statue of Adam Sandler in New York or something.
So say hi to I know the Adam Sandler talking about that statue.
Please tell me. Elon Musk is trapped in the body of a monkey or some shit. No, because of some like experiment he did. That would be funny.
Anyway, but yeah, not that culturally relevant. So though, music. Do you care about music?
Yeah, we're skipping cinematography, girl.
And music
because I don't have anything to say about cinematography. Music is after it. Usually.
Yeah.
But I don't have anything to say about the
same.
camera work.
It's just like the only thing I say is like American comedies have a style to how they're shot, and it's just very mediocre. And that's kind of just it.
Yep. Okay. Music. Run, Ronnie, run. There are some good tracks on here, but it also has some fun comedic original songs, which are okay.
Yeah, the Jack Black song is funny. It's a funny guy.
Yeah, the Jack Black song is funny. That's true.
Yeah.
Joe Dirt music.
Kind of slaps the sound.
Yeah, damn. Why did they cook so hard?
The soundtrack is actually a good collection of music. Like
if you like Southern rock or some shit, you're gonna eat when you watch this movie.
You do have to suffer Sweet Home Alabama, but besides that, it's mostly a collection of some of the best Southern rock acts. To be honest.
There's Bob Seger, Doobie Brothers. There's George Clinton. There's, of course, Three Dog Night, Foghat, Dave Matthews Band, Thin Lizzy, Cheap Trick.
Yeah, it's an honesty, besides a couple of the non-Southern acts, it's a genuinely much more authentic representation of Southern music, Southern mainstream music, anything else in the movie.
It's congrats whoever put that shit together. You did right.
It's legit a lot of stuff that's hyper influential and hyper important and across mainstream Southern music. And it's not very good. Just look up the soundtrack and go listen to those tunes. They're very good. I know they're not in the soundtrack. Go listen to some Allman Brothers. Eat the Pieces is a good album. Yeah. Anything else?
Good. Let's wrap it up.
Let's do Random Numbers Generation.
Yes, we are back. The robot is telling us.
So what, we agreed, every 3 turns, me, Lou, the producer, press back a movie. Then the 4th time before we set the thing is I pick a random number generator, so we get always a random thing every 4th month. 207 movies, is it? No.
207, yeah.
Okay, what do we have? 135? Which is Weeper Man and Weeper the Sonatic Opera.
Holy shit!
This is gonna be so...
I was waiting for a long time to watch Repo the Genetic Opera, and the day has come.
I feel like we're gonna have a lot to discuss. Weeper Man is also gonna be funny. As always, Silvata, Twist, Tumblr, Blue Sky, etc. Patreon, pay me on the Patreons.
Yeah, give her money. Also, I'm Ludovico Limited on co-host. Every other social media platform, be damned. Yeah.
See ya.
Bye bye.